Nowadays, every game, just like Dark Souls. Just like Dark Souls. Oh man, this game is so difficult, just like Dark Souls. Well, you know what Dark Souls was before Dark Souls existed? No, it wasn't Demon Souls, you're wrong. It was Legend of Zelda 2 for the NES. What? This little game, the guy runs to the left and right, he jumps, he shoots his little beam sword, he goes for a stab. How can this be harder than Dark Souls? Well, you know, you got in Dark Souls that you don't have in Legend of Zelda 2 for the NES. Options. What's that? You're stuck on a part of Dark Souls? Oh, you can always grind, you can get more items, you could change up your tactics, you could change up your strategy, you could try using magic. You can go to a store and be like, hey look, a beaten stick. I want a beaten stick. You want a beaten stick? You got yourself a beaten stick. Hey, guess what? You can stun enemies now. The bottom line is, in Dark Souls, you have many different ways of tackling the game's problems that it just loves to throw at you. Zelda 2 likes to point at you and says,
not in my house.
Playing it again from an adult's point of view gave me a little bit of an appreciation for the direction it took. Dare I say, it was actually refreshing to play a Zelda game that didn't hold your hand. Out of curiosity, I went online to see if anybody had done any ambitious ROM hacks for the game. This is how I found Legend of Zelda Shadow of Night by Ice Penguin. So what does this ROM hack offer besides a completely new Zelda 2 adventure? You got the standard stuff, world maps, dungeons, gothics, most importantly of all, a new spell. Wonder how you guys pulled that off. We got two choices, easy and hard. We don't hate ourselves too much, so I'll be trying out easy mode. Right off the bat, this hack seems to do almost everything right. From the very start, you get the feeling of something completely different, yet familiar. The beginning area of the new map, fresh sprites, to even the first spell you get. Holy crap, you get the life spell right off the bat, and it's super cheap to cast. In the original, even after maxing out your magic, the life spell was still stupidly expensive. Which is greatly annoying because there'll be times you have to use another spell, using up all your magic so you can't heal. And anyone who's played the original knows you get hurt a lot. Let's compare the two. With maxed out magic in the original, life cost 50. Not only does Shadow of Night have it cheaper, it has it cheaper at level frickin' 1.
I'd buy that for $1.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
The pause menu has two unique counters, one for weak enemies and one for strong. Get either to 9 and the next one you kill will either give you a pea bag or a magic potion. Within just 15 minutes of playing this game, I am psyched to play Zelda 2. That's fucking amazing. So to get the jump spell, we have to do our first side quest. Collect 5 golden leaves that are scattered about. An odd choice, but at the same time it encourages the player to explore the starting area completely. With the jump spell in hand, our options for exploring open up just a little bit, like going back to where we started the game and getting a 500 experience point bag. That's very nice. We even find our first magic container in a cave nearby. So we make it to the first temple. And for some reason it has this really weird little tiny opening right next to the elevator entrance. But I found that they never served any real purpose, even though they tend to be in every single temple. Personally, I would hide a potion or a key or an enemy there, but that's just me. You have your standard enemies, the blue gels, iron knuckles,
Spooky, scary skeletons.
and of course these guys. You still fight the same boss as before, but this time there's a twist. You get a candle as a reward, and instead of ending, the temple continues. You need the handy glove to make any more progress in the first temple. So that means there's a little bit of a Metroidvania aspect to this ROM hack. Basically, you're given a large open world to explore and you come back to the same area over and over with new abilities that allow you to access new areas. This keeps backtracking interesting. So with the first area completely cleared out of everything we could possibly get, let's go on to the next area. Through the Tunnel of Doom!
Ooh, Mario's Tunnel of Doom. Very scary.
No, seriously, this tunnel is basically a tiny version of Death Mountain, minus the maze. There's insta-kill lava pits, rock-puking octopuses that will knock you into lava, the stupid little spike ball you can't kill because you don't have the downstab yet, right next to a goddamn boomerang guy, green-colored lava that will also kill you just as effectively as regular lava. I guess it's...
Boss, you piece of shit!
Fucking Zubat. Get used to seeing this tunnel. You're going to be going through it many, many, many times. After that semi-annoying tunnel of doom, I'm in the mood to explore again. This large area acts as a kind of hub leading to basically every other portion of the map. Since this area is so large and has a multitude of terrain types, surely there'll be a heart container here, right? Because at this point I've put about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the game, and I'm still at my original 3 heart containers.
I'm just saying.
And I've been pretty careful to comb over every area I've passed. You know, make sure there's no hidden tiles, hidden areas with a heart container. So it turns out, we've actually passed not 1, but 2 already. But we're going to come back to that in a moment. It also doesn't help that the map is expansive. Normally a good thing, but because your character is so weak and underpowered, it's just overwhelming. Not to mention the game will allow you to explore all 3 major branches with little resistance, even though only one doesn't have a complete dead end. Breath of the Wild also has an expansive map that lets you go pretty much wherever the hell you want to, after a tutorial zone. The big difference is, regardless of where you go, you'll find stuff that'll make your character stronger. There's very few areas that waste your time. In the original Zelda 2, the moment you got the key item and you killed the boss, the palace was considered clear and would brick over, preventing you from re-entering it. This meant if you ever got stuck, you wouldn't have to worry about backtracking through every palace because the game prevents you from doing so. In this ROM hack, you will never brick over temples. They will always remain open, which means you'll inevitably find yourself backtracking to them, in the vain hope that they'll have that one key or item that you need. I've re-explored every single freaking area.
Not once, not twice, but thrice.
Alright game, you officially stumped me. I'm just gonna have to look it up online. Unfortunately for me, that's not even a simple thing to do. Not only is there no walkthrough available online, the only complete Let's Play of the game is from almost 6 years ago, and it's version 1. Thankfully, it did have the one piece of information I did need, as well as some infuriating other info. Check this bullshit out. In the original, to get the life spell, you have to find a mirror for this woman. You look in a random empty house, there's a table, it's kind of out of place, you check it, boom, mirror, boom, life spell. In this, there's a woman who's locked out of her house. So you go around town looking for her lost keys. You check the fountain. A midget warns you of a rabid Jigglypuff in the area. Check that odd-looking statue of a Triforce. Get distracted by Zubats because they didn't get enough of you before. Goddamn Zubat! Interrogate their leader. And then be told to get the fuck out. Only to find the key on the edge of the frickin' map. Okay, so check it. I initially missed this because this game has a unique sense of humor. Like this lady who comes out of a house, and it seems like she has a quest for you. Don't you dare put me on a fucking fetch quest. Oh, you little bitch. Or when you go to the healing lady, and she jerks you off. I got nothing against humor, but I really wish these people told you something useful. You see this, and you just kind of assume it's part of the humor because you didn't find that key near a unique sprite, or in that house that stands out. Return the key and you get the custom spell featured in this game. With the dash spell in hand, we backtrack to this cave, where we found a large lava pool we couldn't get across, but we could see the other side. Originally, you would need Fairy to do this, but now, since we could Speedy Gonzales, combine that with Jump, we're finally set to make our leap of faith. Yay. Don't get me wrong, I want to be excited. We have a brand new spell, we have our first heart container, but both of these happen almost 3 hours into the game. As cool as it is to have a custom spell, you only use it at best 3 or 4 times in the entire experience. Not to mention, there's a cost for having a custom spell. It replaced the shield spell. That's right, you will never get the shield spell in this game. And there are parts of this game which are just absolutely ludicrous. With level 6 defense, this guy can kill you in 2 shots. Oh, you want more punishment? Let's up the ante a little bit. And those wizards take like 1,000 hits.
So you wanted a challenge?
Speaking of ludicrous, remember this cave from before? Let's revisit it for a moment. Obviously you need the fairy spell to get past through here, right? Because there's no possibility. So, just bear with me. Zelda 2. You see this stuff right here? It kills you. Red lava. Lava bad, right? No shit. Just for the sake of argument, let's have ourselves a little test for science. Turns out, it's actually recolored swamp water. And your only hint that this was a thing was some old chick in one of the villages saying, "Swamp cave has illusion." The saddest part is, it's actually kind of a neat idea, but the setup is just so poorly done. When you get to this point of the cave, the creator probably intended for the player to try and jump to see if it was maybe a fake wall. But if you just assume that you need the fairy spell to make any progress, you'll never come back to this cave unless you have it. To make things worse, there's even a fake wall in a palace that you cannot reach unless you do a running high jump, or the secret entrance in this temple. Right there's the Pope. Down to that pole, or next to the right. There you go.
Get out of here!
See what I mean? Like,
They just start spawning because it's like
they're just spamming it everywhere.
That is complete bullshit.
I want to like this ROM hack, I really do. But the longer I play it, things just seem to go from bad to worse. The game just doesn't want you to make progress naturally. It just keeps you stuck in this perpetual motion. What starts off seeming like a true masterpiece quickly devolves into mediocrity, and then just plain shit. The game will constantly give you red herrings. You'll think you've found something, only for it to end up being absolutely nothing. Like a path into the ocean that leads to absolutely nothing. I ended up just using save states to explore the rest of the map because, at this point, most of the map after the main hub area is just pure filler. You have giant-ass graveyards, a giant forest with a desert path, a giant graveyard with a desert path, and swamplands pretty much everywhere. The most disappointing part of all of this is that this ROM hack took the original Adventure of Link, seemingly fixed a lot of the issues that the original had, while also offering some unique twists, only to double back on said problems and stretching out the experience, watering it down into this irrecognizable mess. Even going as far as including a shadow world. Yes, this game has its own version of the Dark World. Unfortunately, it's basically the same map as the normal world, except all the towns are bricked over. There's a lot of interesting ideas in play here, but unfortunately, for every gold nugget you can pick out, there's an ocean of trash to go through to get to it. It's not worth your time. This game is bloated. There's just too much filler. Therefore, my final score for this ROM hack is 3 bloated links out of 10. If you have any interest in watching me bungle my way through the game, I'll put a link in the description to the playlist. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Sadly, I'm all out of heavy machine guns. Especially considering this game basically sucked the life out of me. I need to play something a little bit more high quality. Something to cleanse the palate. I need a ROM hack that's damn good and it's not going to waste my time.